You know, every single night, your brain does something pretty incredible. It makes you the writer, the director, and the star of your very own movie. You're building entire worlds, facing down your biggest fears, or just chatting with people you know, and maybe some you don't. We all do it. It's this universal human thing. But why?
I mean, you've been there, right? You wake up from a dream that was just so vivid or so completely bizarre that you're just left thinking, what on earth was that all about? Where do these strange nightly stories even come from? Well, that's exactly the question we're going to dive into today.
And here's the really wild part. Even though we all dream every night, science still doesn't have one single definitive answer. Nope, it's still one of the biggest mysteries of the human mind. But what we do have are some really fascinating theories. Think of them as clues in our investigation.
So, let's meet the four main suspects in the case of why we dream. Is it about processing memories? Is it about handling our feelings? Is it our brain's secret way of solving problems? Or is it just a bunch of random noise? Let's break down the evidence for each one.
Okay, let's dig into our first theory. I want you to imagine your brain is this huge, sprawling library, and all day long you're just shoving thousands of new books onto the shelves, totally out of order. Well, this theory suggests that dreaming is basically your brain's night shift librarian, coming in to clean up the mess.
I mean, think about it. Every single day you're hit with this flood of information, right? Sights, sounds, conversations. When you go to sleep, your brain gets to work sorting through all of it. According to this idea, dreams are a huge part of that process. They help you file away the important stuff and, toss out the junk. It's like a mental cleanup crew, getting everything organized.
Okay, so that's clue number one. Now for our next one. What if dreams are less about information and more about feelings? This theory paints a picture of dreaming as a safe space, kind of like a mental gym where we can go to work out our toughest emotions. So for example, let's say in your waking life, you're feeling super stressed about a test, or maybe you're afraid of something. Well, in the dream world, your brain can run simulations of those scenarios. It lets you practice how you'd respond, but without any of the real-world consequences. It's basically a safe rehearsal for life's big emotional challenges.
Now this third theory, this one is really cool. It suggests that our dreams might actually be our own secret superpower. So what if, when we're stuck on a really tough problem, our unconscious mind just keeps right on working on it while we sleep?
And get this, it's not just some nice idea. There are some incredible stories to back it up. For instance, the scientist James Watson, he reportedly came up with the idea for the double helix structure of DNA from a dream about a spiral staircase. It's like our brains can make these amazing creative leaps at night that they just can't when we're awake and bound by logic.
All right, so we've looked at some pretty deep, meaningful reasons for why we dream. But our final theory is, well, a lot more simple. What if dreams don't actually mean anything at all?
The thinking here is pretty straightforward. As your brain goes through its sleep cycles, different parts of it just fire off random electrical signals. And our conscious mind, which is always trying to tell a story, takes all these random bits, a memory from childhood, an emotion from yesterday, and tries to stitch them together into some kind of narrative. That's what a dream is. It's not for anything, it's just a byproduct of your brain doing its nightly maintenance. So, there you have it. We've looked at the evidence for our four main suspects: the librarian, the therapist, the secret inventor, and just plain old brain static. After laying out the whole case, which one is it? Which theory is the right one? Let's just look at our case file one more time. We've got memory processing, the brain's filing system, emotional regulation, a safe space for feelings, problem solving, our creative superpower, and random activity, our brain just making stories out of noise. Honestly, they all sound pretty plausible, don't they? And that, right there, is where the real mystery is. The truth probably isn't about picking just one. It might be that they all work together. Think about it. Maybe those random brain signals are the raw material, like the static on a TV. And our mind, acting as that librarian and that therapist, uses that static to weave stories that help us file memories and practice our emotions, and maybe, just maybe, stumble upon a brilliant new idea in the process.
So, in the end, whatever the final scientific answer turns out to be, dreaming is still this deeply personal, absolutely fascinating part of being human. Which really just leaves me with one final question to leave you with. What has a dream ever taught you?